All right, rewind oldschool.com, Southernlistic Radio, Gene.com, Mr. Al Pete, Bernard B, Orian, Benjamin, 2.5 stacks. 2.5 stacks. In the building tonight, it brings us nothing but a great honor, a pleasure, because we're just more than an old school radio show. We want to give you some substance when you come through and when you log on with us. And we had the privilege tonight and the honor to be amongst greatness, the new future mayor. Again, I'm going to speak that into existence. The future mayor of our city stopped by tonight to give us some insight, to give us a whole bunch of information. And we are down with Mayor Brown. That's it. We down with Mayor Brown. We're getting ready to make history, Jacksonville. 2011, March 2011. We did it with Obama. And now we're going to do it right here in our very own city of Jacksonville, Florida. Are we good, B? Okay. Mayor Brown. Good to have you tonight here, brother.
Happy to be here tonight.
You see he's dude it up. He's dappered up, but he's in the lab with us. He's in the lab. He's going to come out the jacket. He's getting ready to come out the jacket. He felt it not robbery. Just getting in. So, who is Alvin Brown?
Well, I'm just an ordinary guy who worked really hard, got my start out at Winn-Dixie stocking groceries every night, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and then going to school in the daytime. Worked in every department in Winn-Dixie, grocery, produce, dairy.
Oh, you worked produce?
Oh, yeah, I did produce.
Oh, that was my spot.
Is that right?
I'm a product of Winn-Dixie. Produce was my that's the hottest. That's the coolest. Yeah. That is the coolest department in the store because you can water down the bell peppers. I mean, they're in the front, so that's you know I wanted to be in the front when people come in. You right there, potatoes and all that.
That's right. So I had a chance to do that, and you know I like to tell young people along the way I had help when I couldn't pay my tuition in college and meet my financial obligation. My pastor co-signed a loan so I wouldn't have to drop out of college. Stayed in college and became a certified meat cutter at Winn-Dixie. So I was cutting that meat with Winn-Dixie. And from there, you know, eventually graduated, stayed with Winn-Dixie, then went back to school and got my MBA from Jacksonville University. And then from there had an opportunity to intern with Congressman Bill Nelson when he was in the House. Interned with him. And then in 92, a guy by the name of Governor Bill Clinton decides to run for president. So I pack up my bags from Jacksonville and go move to Little Rock, Arkansas and join the Clinton campaign. And we won. And after he won, I went on a transition team in Washington and then joined the president's team in the White House, worked for President Clinton in the White House doing presidential personnel, making the appointments, making sure we had the right staff, putting the government in place. And then from there, I had a chance to be the senior advisor to late Secretary Ron Brown of Commerce, focusing on economic development and base closures. And then from there, I had an opportunity to work at HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development, focusing on revitalizing neighborhoods and communities and affordable housing. As you know, in the early 90s, the economy was bad, and so we had to focus on putting people back to work. So I went back to the White House to run a $4 billion program they call Community Empowerment Program to create jobs in the inner cities and revitalize urban and rural America. Did that for President Clinton. And then from there, I went to be Vice President Gore's senior advisor for urban policy and the vice chair of the board. And as you know, every cabinet member sat on the board. And it was all about creating jobs in inner cities, giving young people an opportunity, focusing on access to capital and credit. And when Gore lost in 2000, moved back home with my family back to Jacksonville, headed up the Willie Gary Classic, which focuses on education, helping young people, putting on a good football team between Edward Waters College and Shaw University.
Good games.
And we have the best college fair in Jacksonville, where we bring colleges from all around the country to recruit our young people to go to school. And did that. And then when Katrina hit, I was asked to head up the Bush Clinton Katrina Interfaith Fund to rebuild the houses of worship in the Gulf Coast. And now I'm at Jacksonville University in the School of Business, and I want to be your next mayor of Jacksonville, Democrat.
That's it. We're down with Brown.
That's right.
So you stress from starting from one point down and growing all the way up. So you're seasoned
Right.
Your season, and I believe that it is your season. Some of the focus points that you touch on are jobs. Jobs are real critical here in Jacksonville, Florida. There are a lot of people that are seeking employment, and once you get in office, what's your strategy?
Well, that's going to be my number one priority is jobs. I mean, if you want to, one of the things I learned in working with President Clinton, we focused on putting people back to work. It's about the economy. You want to create jobs, and you got to focus on it. So focusing on public-private partnerships, recruiting companies to come to Jacksonville and expand their company and hire our good workers we have in the city. Focus on entrepreneurship. We have a lot of people who want to start their own business, want to expand their own business, so make sure they have access to capital and credit, to grow their business, to start their business. So I think jobs is the number one key. If you want to focus on getting rid of crime, give someone a job, allow them to work
Absolutely.
and take care of their family and put food on their table and pay their bills. I mean, that's what it's all about. You can't do anything without a job, and so that's going to be my number one priority, focusing on jobs and investing all around the city. We have great talent here. We have a lot of people who are looking for a job, and that would be my number one priority.
Absolutely. Education is another strong bullet point that Jacksonville is not lacking, but we struggle with that. What are your plans for making it affordable for?
Absolutely. I think you want all those kids who have a dream to go to college and want to go to college. We should be working with our local colleges and universities. I mean, when you really think about it, we have a great city. We have all the assets here. You have some of the best colleges and universities located here in Jacksonville. So I think we need to make a big push to help our young people who want to go to college, even if they want to go to Florida A&M or Morehouse or University of Florida, Florida State, whatever college they want to go to. It should be our obligation to help them get there. And so partnering with these colleges, universities, making sure young people know that there are scholarships out there, to go to college, and working with the private sector to help fund some of these initiatives, I think is very, very key. The partnership works. And then there are a lot of students who aren't going to college, so we can't forget about them.
Right.
So we got to make sure that they have the skills that they need, so when they graduate from high school, they can get a job. They can work on that BMW or that Mercedes. They can work at the Jacksonville Airport and the Port Authority where those jobs are coming in. So we have to make sure that our young people are empowered with the tools and resources so they can reach their God-given potential.
Mayor Brown, we're getting down with Mayor Brown. I know public safety was one bullet point, as well as balancing the budget. I know for a homeowner right now it's critical for us because the property taxes are just, they are impacting us financially. And for me personally, I hear about, we have to raise the taxes because we want to improve the quality of life, and we want you to continue to have the quality of life. But in my opinion, the quality of life starts with my check, because
Right.
the city can offer so many different quote unquote quality of life leisures, but if I can't afford to even go, then I still was taxed on the back end for them. So is that something that you will address?
Well, clearly, you got to make sure, one, public safety is a big issue. I would make sure that our streets are safe and seniors should feel comfortable in their homes. We got to really do a lot on prevention. I think that's very, very important. Having after-school programs, investing in our neighborhoods, making sure that young people have a job. One of the things that I would focus on is summer job for young people. That's so important. So when they get out for the summertime, they would have a job. And then after-school programs, mentoring, tutoring young people, keeping them on a right track is so important. I would work with the sheriff's office and making sure that they have the resources that they need to do their job. So that's one thing. Public safety is so important. And then the other thing is we got to live within our means. We can't be all things to all people. We have to balance the budget. We have to prioritize and make sure that we're doing things that are so important in our community. JEA is another issue in our city, working with JEA to make sure that, we're all working together to keep our the light bill down. You have a lot of seniors who are on fixed income, and, we got to make sure that our leaders explain to the ordinary people about, why their electricity bill going up. What's the issue, and so I think all those things, working with the key stakeholders, explaining our position, and making sure that they know It is about the quality of life. This election is not about Alvin Brown. It's about closing the opportunity gap. It's about making sure that your kids and your grandkids out there can work and live in this city and raise a family. It's about closing the economic gap so that people can have jobs. It's about making sure that we're not the number one murder capital in the state of Florida. It's making sure that we do have a good school system, that companies would want to relocate to Jacksonville and grow their business and expand their business. It means that no matter what side of town you live on, the east side, the west side, the north side, the south side of the beaches, this is about opportunity for all. And I believe we need a mayor who's going to lay out a shared vision that says that we can move forward and grow and live together. And that's what I believe. With all of us working together, there are no problems that we cannot solve when we work together.
And I mean, it says a whole lot for you to come down here, because we're in the lab. We're here on a weekly basis cooking up the old school for Southernlistic Radio, Rewind Old School. And we want to give our viewers, some positive reinforcements, with our show, and it says a whole lot. And I just want to thank you for coming down here. Now, last but certainly not least, you've touched a lot of nightlife, and you have went back to the grassroots, with DJs, like myself and Al Pete and Bernard B. What do you have in place for the young professional adult as far as entertainment? Because that's something that as this group of individuals, we like to provide entertainment, but it's so hard here in the city, and we want to see more polished artists come through the city to entertain us.
Well, I agree with that. I think clearly culture, arts, and entertainment should be a part of the city life. I think we should do that. I would definitely work with you and a lot of the promoters, new promoters, good promoters, who would be able to bring in good artists, because you need entertainment in the city. You want arts and culture. That's what makes a city grow. You want to have something for young people, young professionals. You should not have to feel like you got to go to Atlanta, Miami, or Charlotte, or D.C. to have a good time. And so I think that's a major issue in our city, and we want to make sure that we make that a priority. I think entertainment is important.
Okay. Before we get you up out of here, thank you again, but what I want to know is, what's your favorite old school song?
Oh, man, that's a big one now. Choosing an old school song, I think there are a lot of them. I think Dougie Fresh is one of the best, Heavy D and the Boys. But I like the OJs. They were really good, and they're still good. I like the OJs. They're very, very, very good. Frankie Bellaby and Mays is pretty good. I love those guys. They still, and let me say this for young people, it doesn't matter how you start off in life. I'm a guy who was raised by my mother, raised 5 kids, worked 2 jobs, and they taught us 2 things: a faith in God and hard work. And so it doesn't matter how you start. Don't let anyone tell you can't make it in America. You have to work hard and put your faith in God and trust God that He will bless you, He will empower you, and open doors for you that man think they close. And so, look at Frankie Beverly. He's still performing.
Yes.
And so you can still make it. And I'm so proud of you all. The best is yet to come for your team.
The new campaign statement is the downtown makeover. The downtown makeover. People are wanting to go downtown. I know we have implemented Art Walk and things like that has given downtown somewhat of a facelift, but the downtown makeover, because we want to bring a lot of business back downtown, and it opens up opportunities for entrepreneurs like myself and Mr. Al Pete and Bernard B and Orian Benjamin.
Well, downtown is so important. I mean, I think if you don't have a downtown, you don't have a city. I think I'd like to see, I brought Magic Johnson here, Bishop T.D. Jakes. I do these empowerment conference because I ran the empowerment zone during the Clinton administration, and I think that, bringing Magic and Bob Johnson, who founded BET, and bringing in investors to invest in downtown. We should have a movie theater downtown.
Absolutely.
We should have the state-of-the-art grocery store downtown. We should have affordable housing downtown.
Say that again.
Affordable housing.
Say that
where
again.
Ordinary people can live and work and play downtown. That is so, so important. I think that's so important.
And another issue that we have here is homeless. A lot of homeless people are without homes, and
Right.
I can remember a story when I was leaving one of the night spots here, and it was cold. It had to be about 19 degrees outside, and my heart just went out to the gentleman that I saw that was making a pallet for itself. Is there some type of buildings that we can create, we can renovate, that are not being used currently, if not downtown, somewhere in the city that, it would be shelters created?
Right. Homelessness is a big issue around the country. You have about 500,000 people sleeping on the street every night. I think it's sad that people will rather bend down and pick up an aluminum can than reach out their hand and help their fellow man. I would definitely focus on that. It talks about the Good Samaritan, and I think that you got to have people who are passionate about what they believe in, and having worked at HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development, and if you look at Brentwood and Durkeeville, they were revitalized. That was on our watch. So we believe in affordable housing and helping the homeless, and one of the things you can do is take a holistic approach to homelessness. You have a lot of homeless veterans shouldn't be out there, so they need mental help and support. And so I think taking a comprehensive approach to focusing on homelessness is a priority.
Absolutely. Mr. Brown, thank you for coming out, joining us here at Rewind Old School, Southernlistic Radio. It has been my esteemed pleasure. And for all you out there that's in Ustream land, March 2011, get down with Brown. I'm not telling you who to vote for. All I'm saying is before, when you get in the ballot box, check Alvin Brown. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm just saying when you get in the ballot box, check Alvin Brown.
I'm telling you who to vote for. Alvin Brown. I'm down with Brown, baby.
We're getting down with Brown here. You got it. RewindOldSchool.com endorses the future mayor of Jacksonville, Florida, Mayor Alvin Brown. And we're going to have you out to August the 28th, Rewind Old School, and the 21st as well to welcome the people and shake some hands and get them down with Brown.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking to have fun. And, campaign is all about also having fun, and I look forward to working with you guys. Thank you, and God bless you, man.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Maestro?
Wow. RewindOldSchool.com, Southernlistic Radio. I am honored, privileged. We had mayor candidate that see, now that's unreal. That's real. That's what we need our politicians to do, to understand the small folk and the small things, because we do matter. So I got to give a big thanks to that. Gene.com, mayor. We speaking into existence, like he said. The new mayor of Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida, Alvin Brown.